In the headlines of this hour on VTV News. State presidency officially transferred in a ceremony on Tuesday. And National Assembly deputies discuss law on a pharmacy. In our world news, U.S. Secretary of State heads to the Middle East for Gaza ceasefire push.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. local time and you're tuning in to VTV News. I'm Huyền Trân with the top stories. A ceremony to transfer the state presidency from Party General Secretary Tô Lâm to the newly elected State President Lương Cường was held at the Presidential Palace on Tuesday morning. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn, and other senior leaders of the party and state also attended the event. During the ceremony, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm reflected on his 5-month tenure as a state president, emphasizing his commitment to working with the Politburo, the Secretariat, and the Central Committee to address urgent issues and fulfill the constitutional responsibilities of the state president. He extended his congratulations to State President Lương Cường for being entrusted with this important position and expressed confidence in the new state president's dedication, leadership experience, and ability to guide the nation towards success. In his remarks, State President Lương Cường vowed to build on the positive outcomes established by his predecessors and remain committed to the responsibilities entrusted to him by the party, state, and people. He also expressed his determination to work alongside the Vice President, the entire party, the people, and the armed forces to successfully achieve the goals of the 13th Party Congress and prepare for the 14th Party Congress. Also on Tuesday morning, under the chairmanship of National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn, National Assembly deputies continued the 8th session of the legislature. They discussed several important issues, including the draft law on amendments and supplements to various articles of the law on a pharmacy.
Lawmakers have thoroughly researched, reviewed, and revised its contents according to feedback from previous sessions. Deputies agreed it was suggested that the regulation on preferential policies and support for investment in pharmaceutical development should be adjusted for projects with a minimum investment scale of over $118 million USD.
I see that the list for preferential treatment is currently quite restrictive, while the required investment scale is high. I suggest lowering it to only $50 million US. In the first 3 to 4 years, only $11 million US should be disbursed initially. The rest will come after each assessment.
Deputies also voiced their opinions regarding regulations on online pharmaceutical sales and price management for all types of medications.
It is recommended to specify e-commerce platforms' responsibilities in controlling the quality and origin of medicines. This will help ensure consumers can purchase the right quality of medicines and prevent the sale of unauthorized drugs on such platforms.
I propose the drafting committee establish clear criteria for pharmaceutical establishments to declare medicine prices, so that local authorities can implement these effectively. Medicine is a special commodity, and voters want it to be managed with special attention, following specific laws. However, most of the regulations currently follow the pricing law. The drafting committee should have appropriate regulations to facilitate practical implementation.
Deputies also gave their opinions on policies to develop traditional medicinal resources, the management of pharmacy chains, drug registration, and pharmaceutical raw materials.
Bắc Ninh Province boasts over 170 high-quality, prestigious products certified under the One Commune, One Product or OCOP program. And to promote these products effectively, producers must adapt their market approach. leveraging e-commerce platforms has emerged as one of the most effective strategies and is now widely adopted by many local businesses.
This ceramic manufacturer conducts live stream sales sessions. After just a few sessions, dozens of their ceramic product lines have gained recognition and been chosen by many customers.
The cost of running live stream sales sessions is cheaper than other advertising methods. Moreover, it helps us reach more customers. Businesses should carefully study online sales methods to reach the right customers.
2 years ago, local OCOP products were primarily consumed within the province. However, since participating in online trading, these products have reached customers nationwide. This has significantly boosted revenue for production facilities. According to their representatives, OCOP certificates have enhanced their brand reputation, attracting more customers. Additionally, the cost of operating online is lower compared to traditional sales methods.
In the process of selling on e-commerce platforms, we encountered many difficulties. OCOP products are high-quality products with higher prices, so there is a lot of price competition.
One of the barriers to developing e-commerce is the lack of skilled human resources, particularly those knowledgeable in information technology. This is both a challenge and an opportunity for young people looking to start a business on an e-commerce platform.
Young businesses have a big advantage when it comes to starting a business. Young people have a lot of energy and are highly adaptable to technology. Young business people also have more opportunities to access international technologies.
In Vietnam, e-commerce revenue was estimated to reach $25 billion in 2023. Consumer habits have shifted significantly from direct shopping to online purchases. As of 2024, Bắc Ninh Province ranked 7th nationally in the e-commerce business index. According to experts, the e-commerce sector still has enormous potential, presenting both opportunities and challenges for business owners in the digital era.
In recent days, the Durian market in the southern region and Central Highlands regions has stabilized, maintaining relatively high prices. In the Mekong Delta, Re6 durians are priced between $2 and $4.50 per kilogram, depending on fruit quality. And in the southeast, the same variety is priced around $3.6 to $3.8 per kilogram. Meanwhile, in the Central Highlands, Re6 durians are sold at $2.3 to $2.4 per kilogram, the lowest in all regions. However, Thai durians in the Central Highlands fetch the highest prices, ranging from $3.8 to $4 per kilogram. Durian prices are expected to remain stable in the short term, with slight adjustments based on supply and demand. The Central Highlands is likely to sustain higher prices due to superior product quality and strong export demand. The Ministry of Health reports that food poisoning cases have increased by over 200% this year compared to the same period last year. Southern provinces and cities such as Dong Nai and Ho Chi Minh City are experiencing a rise in cases. And to minimize potential food poisoning incidents, the Food Safety Department of the Ministry of Health now requires intensified traceability for all types of food. More in the following.
Bình Điền Market is one of the largest wholesale markets in Ho Chi Minh City, circulating about 2,500 tons of various food types daily. It provides 35% of the city's meat supply and 70% of its seafood, which also serves neighboring provinces. To ensure food safety, market management requires vendors to maintain a daily log tracking the origin of each product, including detailed supplier information.
All products are imported from the central, southwestern, and southeastern provinces. Traders just bring these goods to the market for sale. We control incoming products using a list of possible risks and conduct periodic and random inspections.
This company operates a cafeteria that serves lunch to approximately 14,000 workers daily. In nearly 30 years of operation, no food poisoning cases have ever been detected. To achieve this impressive record, the company has established a dedicated team responsible for quality control.
Early in the morning, all relevant departments, including unions, security, and factories, are present to inspect whether the input quality and quantity meet the company's orders.
Ingredients come from various sources. Vegetables, fruits, meat, eggs, and fish are managed by the agricultural sector. The health sector is responsible for kitchen operations. Seasoning is under the management of the industrial and commercial sectors. Each sector must take responsibility for tracing the food under its management.
Authorities regularly conduct both scheduled and random inspections of cafeterias and wholesale markets in the southern region, especially in areas with high worker concentrations. These checks assess compliances with food safety regulations among large-scale ingredient and meal suppliers, providing timely recommendations to reduce risk of food safety violations.
Super Typhoon Yagi inflicted the most severe damage on the aquaculture sector, with estimated losses of approximately $100 million. With the support of local authorities, banks, and businesses, aquaculture facilities have swiftly resumed operations and stabilized their production and business activities.
The familiar sounds of a fishing village have returned to this area after a long silence. A local cooperative is now nurturing the fish that survived the typhoon. The locals joke, people may not be full yet, but the fish must be full and healthy, as their Lunar New Year income depends on these fish. Currently, 80% of the cooperative's aquaculture areas have been restocked.
I hope the weather won't get too cold soon so that the fish can have time to grow.
Vandone was the area hit hardest by Typhoon Yagi in Quang Province. Over 900 households in 57 cooperatives, with a total area of more than 6,000 hectares, have restored their aquaculture zones. Thanks to timely support, over 50% of the fish cages have been recovered.
We will continue to coordinate with relevant ministries to allocate sea areas to local fishermen.
In response to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development's call to support fishermen, seafood businesses have donated over $11 million in cash and goods. These aim to help farmers get back on their feet quickly.
In the first 9 months of this year, the seafood supply increased by 40%. This ensures we can guarantee an abundant supply for the Tet holidays.
Timely support has helped aquaculture households restock immediately after natural disasters. With production now back on track, the upcoming Tet holidays will surely see an abundant supply of seafood products for the market.
Now, before we move on to other important updates, let's take a look at the foreign exchange rates of today, October 22nd. Coming up next on VTV News. Guangnam encounters challenges in relocating people from landslide-prone areas. And protecting sea turtle breeding grounds on Gondao Archipelago. Cold air and easterly winds have brought heavy rain to the central region, with some areas receiving over 100 millimeters of rain. In cities like Vinh and Tam Kỳ, flooding has affected homes and roads, causing a disruption. Rain is expected to continue from Quảng Trị to Bình Định, with 50 to 150 millimeters forecasted, raising concerns of flash floods and landslides. Thunderstorms in other areas, including Thanh Hóa and the Central Highlands, may bring over 80 millimeters of rain, lightning, and strong winds. Meanwhile, Ho Chi Minh City tides are expected to fall below Alert Level 2. In the central region, though it's still early in the rainy season, many localities, including Guangnam Province, have urgently evacuated numerous villages in the highlands. The biggest challenge currently is the lack of land for resettlement. The province is planning to relocate nearly 3,000 households from 6 highland districts.
In Kadang village, Ta Binh commune, 50 households living near the Thanh River bank has not been able to relocate due to a shortage of available land.
The commune authorities inspected the area and concluded that there was no suitable place for us to move to.
This area, spanning over 3 hectares, has been chosen as the resettlement zone for people from the disaster-prone region. According to the original plan, the resettlement area should have been ready by now to accommodate the 50 households from Kadang village. However, construction has been delayed due to difficult terrain. The areas with lower landslide risks are littered with large rocks, hampering construction efforts.
Clearing large rocks is an arduous process, delaying construction of the resettlement area. We are preparing a proposal for the Provincial People's Committee to request permission to use mines to clear the rocks.
In Quảng Nam, nearly tens of thousands of households has been resettled safely. From now until 2025, the province will allocate more than $6.7 million to relocate nearly 3,000 households in mountainous areas to safety.
In Nghệ An, 2 fishing boats became stranded on the beach in Diễn Thành Commune, Diễn Châu district after attempting to dock at the Lake Vạn Sea entrance on Monday. Crew members tried to free the boats from the grounding on Tuesday morning. 10 crew members were on board the 2 vessels at the time of the incident. The boat's large size, shallow water levels, and strong winds and waves caused their hulls to become stuck in fine sand, thwarting all attempts to refloat them. Lake Vạn is one of the 6 major sea entrances in Nghệ An province, but it has suffered from severe silting for over a decade, thus complicating navigation and docking. Located in the southern waters of Vietnam, the Con Đảo archipelago serves as a vital conservation area where numerous sea turtle species come to mate, nest, and hatch. Con Đảo National Park hosts 18 nesting beaches, covering a total area of 24,000 meter squares. Peak nesting season from June to October attracts hundreds of volunteers who join park rangers in their efforts to ensure a safe environment for the turtles.
Every morning on the beaches of Con Đảo National Park, countless microscopic plastic fibers and debris wash ashore with the tide. The volunteers' task is to clean up this waste, ensuring a clear path for mother turtles to come ashore and lay their eggs without obstruction.
Every day, we clean up the trash that washes ashore with the tides. This is ocean debris brought in by the waves. Since turtles eat jellyfish, they often mistake plastic bags for food, which can lead to choking and death. That's why it's so important for us to keep the beaches clean.
There's a lot of hard work that the rangers need to do every day, collecting trash on the beach, also cleaning the beach so that there are more chances of turtles coming to the clean beach to lay eggs. So imagine if a mama turtle is digging to lay eggs and she finds something like this, she probably would give up and go somewhere else to lay eggs.
Each night, rangers and volunteers patrol the sea turtle nesting grounds, helping transport eggs to incubation ponds. This ensures a higher hatching success rate and protects the eggs from natural threats and human interference.
When the turtle comes ashore, we sit and watch where it goes, then follow its tracks. I estimate this nest contains over 100 eggs. We need to quickly transfer the eggs to the incubation tank. The eggs can be moved within 6 hours while the embryos are still inactive. After that period, the embryos become active, making it much harder to transfer them without reducing.
On the Con Đảo archipelago, continuous beach cleanups by rangers and volunteers, coupled with nightly monitoring of nesting turtles, enable over 400 mother turtles to return to the sandy shores each year. These efforts have resulted in an impressive hatching success rate of over 80%.
The People's Committee of Hanoi has recently issued a plan to conserve and promote the value of cultural heritage. And under this plan, 100% of the historical and cultural sites in the city will be digitized in the near future. The plan emphasizes the use of science and technology in professional work and the management of museums, relics, intangible cultural heritage, and documentary heritage. Various departments, sectors, and localities will undertake the restoration and preservation of historical and cultural sites, including those with architectural and artistic value, famous landmarks, as well as national and city-level monuments of significant importance. Alongside efforts to recover from natural disasters, tourism activities in Bakha District, Laogai Province, are gradually being restored. Local authorities are currently focusing on improving the quality of tourism products and implementing several activities for the upcoming Winter Festival. In addition to planning for major tourism events, cultural and sports activities tied to the ethnic and cultural identity of the region will be organized. These will be developed into tourism products to attract visitors to Bakha District. In the first 9 months of this year, Laogai welcomed more than 6 million tourists. Coming up next in our world news. U.S. Secretary of State heads to the Middle East for Gaza ceasefire push. And global stocks plunge due to concerns over inflation, oil prices, and global instability. Moving on to our world news, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is on his 11th trip to the Middle East since the conflict in Gaza erupted in October 2023. The visit comes at a time when the Israeli military is intensifying its attacks against Hezbollah forces in Lebanon. At his first stop in Israel on Tuesday, he will meet with the country's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And the two sides will discuss the importance of ending the conflict in Gaza, ensuring the release of all hostages, and minimizing suffering for the Palestinian people. During this trip, the U.S. Secretary of State will also exchange views on the need for a diplomatic solution to the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. He will reaffirm the U.S. commitment to closely coordinate with regional partners to de-escalate tensions and bring lasting stability to the Middle East. Most major global stock indices saw significant declines in Monday's trading session, ending a streak of consecutive gains. The sell-off pressure increased due to concerns about inflation, fluctuating oil prices, and global political instability. The Dow Jones and S&P 500 on the U.S. stock market both dropped from record highs due to rising bond yields. By the end of the session, the Dow Jones lost 0.8%, while the S&P 500 fell 0.2%. Red also dominated the stock markets in other countries, and by the end of Monday's session, the FTSE 100 on the London Exchange fell 0.5%, the CAC 40 on the Paris Exchange dropped 1%, and the DAX index on the Frankfurt Exchange also lost 1%. The summer monsoon is vital for the livelihoods of millions of Pakistanis, but scientists say climate change is making the rains heavier and longer, raising the risk of landslides, floods, and long-term crop damage. Widespread poverty driven by climate disasters has led to a resurgence of Pakistan's underage marriage problem.
As monsoon rains were about to break over Pakistan, many underage daughters were married off in exchange for money, a decision their parents made to help the family survive the threat of floods. Najma Ali was initially swept up in the excitement of becoming a wife when she married at 14 in 2022. My husband gave my parents 250,000 rupees for our wedding, but it was on loan that he has no way of paying back. 2 years ago, Pakistan experienced an unprecedented flood. Over 1,700 people lost their lives. A third of the country was submerged. Many villages in the agricultural belt of Sindh have yet to recover, while the incidence of child marriage has seen a sharp increase. Before the 2022 floods, we used to get girls married late, but now we get them married young, because after the flood we have nothing. Poverty has increased, houses have fallen, we have nothing.
We had 45 marriages this year in this village. Out of only 250 families, 15 marriages took place in the last 3 months.
Mehtab, 12 years old, was set to be married while her family was being displaced by the floods. However, thanks to the intervention of the Sujag Sansar, the wedding did not take place. I don't want to get married now. I see married girls around me who have very challenging lives, and I don't want this for myself. Child marriage in Pakistan is widespread, with laws forbidding the practice rarely enforced. According to the UN, the country has the 6th highest rate of underage brides.
European Space Agency's Euclid space mission has revealed the first piece of its Great Map of the universe, showing millions of stars and galaxies. This 208 gigapixel mosaic contains 260 observations in a visible and infrared light, made in just 2 weeks from March 25th and April 8th this year. The capture coverage is more than 500 times the area of the sky covered by a full moon, offering an extensive look into the vastness of the cosmos. Remarkably, the mosaic accounts for just 1% of the extensive survey Euclid is set to conduct over 6 years, which will cover 1/3 of the universe. Now, before we say goodbye, let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.